All righty. Morisha, Kate, Sam, we got a fabulous panel here. Guys, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for coming over this morning. We're going to have fun for next 60 minutes. I'm going to be shooting some questions and you can answer them. You can skip them. You can, because I might just put you on spot. So if you say, hey, Amit, I'll pass this, I don't mind that. But then let the answers be original. Let the answers be honest. Let the answers come from your heart. Let me introduce Morisha first because she came first. She was 2 minutes before you guys. So let me introduce her first. So Morisha is the COO of Lasio. They are in the business of hair hair product line, and she has been selling since fourth grade. You remember the Spice Girl lollipop was her first venture, and she has been intrigued by selling. She thinks that this is one business where your work ethics will determine how much money do you make, how much money you take home. So she has a lot of experience, about decade experience in digital marketing. She has learned to success and failures, and she has great ambitions, and she believes in sharing stories, connecting with people by sharing authentic, honest stories. And she's extremely innovative. She is playing a very vital role in her organization of making strategies for her business and understanding the customers and making sure her customers trust her and stay loyal to her. Morisha, thank you so much for coming over this morning. Looking forward to talking to you. You got to unmute yourself, Morisha.
Sorry about that. Thank you for having me and inviting me to the panel. I'm excited to have this discussion today.
Wonderful. Excellent. Thank you so much, Morisha. So Kate is currently doing two things at the time. I would request all of you, I would actually request you, your hand and your leg, basically your mobile phone. If you can keep your mobile phone aside for an hour and focus on this discussion, that will be really, really nice of you.
I'm a very restless person. Look, I'm sitting on the ball. I can't even sit still.
Okay. All right. Interesting. That's a nice.
I was making notes.
Oh, you're making notes. Okay. All right.
Good,
So that's good. That's good. Thanks for the clarification. So Kate is a world leader. So she's the CEO of Anatomie, and they are the world leader in making women travel smarter. So they make athleisure and athleisure clothes for women who are traveling a lot and making them like a premium brand for travel wear. And Kate and her husband Sean, they met in 2006, and they were in active year business. So Kate was born in Budapest, and she got an MBA from France, and she was working as a girls gymnastics coach, and she was in the dressing team, and she's a self-taught designer, and she has met her husband Sean in Miami, who is an Ohio native and also a designer. They both have worked tirelessly on this brand and have partnered with elite models, cigarette boards, Lamborghini, and Nikki Beach clubs to work for them to design their clothes. Kate, thank you so much for coming over. We can learn a lot from you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. I don't know how you found out so much about our past. I'm looking forward to speaking about the future. What's next?
All right. Yes, we dug you up. Sam is the guy so he's the founder and CEO of MyGiftCardSupply. So if you're living in Singapore, if you're living in outside US, and you love US TV shows, you love US TV, US movies, Sam is the guy to go to. You go to MyGiftCardSupply and you can watch any any TV show, any US TV show or movie by going on Sam's website. I'm gonna correct Sam's supplies, the spelling of supply. Yes, so Sam has been doing it from 2012, and he makes people addicted to US TV shows and US TV movies, US movies. Uh, thank you so much, guys. It's gonna be fun. Uh, Let me ask the first question to Morisa. So, Morisa, tell us your story. How have been the last 7 months? And since you believe in telling authentic stories and you are in sales, what mistake did you make in the last 7 months?
Mistakes. I don't want to sound no kind of way, but I don't feel we made mistakes in the last 7 months. I feel like we, as a team, collectively, myself and the CEO of Lasio, I feel like we did what we felt was right. And so I wouldn't say we made mistakes. Unique to Lasio is that we have 3 divisions of our business, and all 3 is an e-commerce segment. All 3 is delivered via the internet. So we sell business to business. We have professional products that we sell B2B to salon owners, and we have our direct to consumer business where we sell our products, obviously direct to the consumer via our website and Amazon. And also we had a salon which was located in Midtown New York City. And I think once we knew what was going to happen, meaning our industry completely shut down, our B2B business, our salons all over the world, the doors were closed. And for us, it was instantaneously, the minute we realized we were going to have to close our doors here, we went on and did a public video in terms of how we felt. It was the raw emotions of never having been in this type of situation, never even forecasting something like this happening, but committing to our salon partners that we were going to think of something. We were going to think of something to make sure that we saved the industry, our industry that we love so much. And then secondly, obviously our own salon in New York City had to close down. And it was literally overnight. I mean, it was something we were talking about in the future to do, but then literally overnight, her and I were talking as our offices were closed, and we're like, what are we gonna do? And we're like, let's flip the mobile switch. Let's turn the salon, let's close our own salon and go mobile. And so our services business was the last business we brought on to an e-commerce platform. And we actually run Lasio Mobile off of Shopify. So literally people buy appointment slots to get their keratin treatment done at their home, their office, or at a hotel, because a lot of our clients don't even live in New York, but they would travel in. So I can't pinpoint and say this here was a mistake that we made. I felt like we did what we felt was right. Some people didn't understand it, but you can't please everyone. Everyone is not in your shoes at that point and at that time. And we did the best we could. We stayed in contact with our B2B business. All of our salon partners throughout the entire shutdown, we were in contact with them. We supported their businesses even during the shutdown. We transitioned into an e-commerce platform for our brick and mortar business. And then we paid attention to our consumers. Our direct to consumers business was really low before COVID. We focused on our professional market. It's what brings in majority of our money between that and our salon. And for us, it was like, okay, let's rev this up. And then luckily for us, our Amazon store was opening right before COVID hit. So when COVID hit, they blocked all shipments, but our shipment was already in there. So our Amazon store actually activated right at the nick of time and really saved our business 100% between Amazon and being able to sell online, saved our business to allow us to come back in when salons were open, to now be in a better position to even support them. Because we're not in a situation where it was like, listen, we were closed, there's nothing we can do for you, this is what it is. It was like, we were closed, we maintained, and now how do we help you rebuild? And we've successfully done that. So I wouldn't say we made mistakes. I felt like we took risks and they paid off.
Excellent, wonderful. So what Morisha is saying, that they pivoted very fast. They understood that they're in the salon business and salon are shutting down, so they went mobile. They were catering to people going out, and that worked pretty out. That worked well for them. Wonderful, Morisha. What she's telling is, you got to pivot fast. You got to move fast and be quick in your response time to sustain. That's the learning from Morisha. Thank you so much, Morisha. Thank you very much for the initial learning. Sam, coming to you, why are you doing what you are doing? What's your why?
Ooh. Well, so I kind of have an entrepreneurial ambition that's just kind of built into me. So there's this inherent like seeking out opportunities and wanting to kind of find my own little thing that I can do and provide to the world. There's kind of like that deeper why that feels meaningful. When I first started My Gift Card Supply and it first started getting some momentum, and I brought in a few people to help me sort of fulfill this kind of itch to just kind of create and provide and play in the business world and sell things online. I got a few people together, and as we kind of got a little momentum going, it sort of started to feel like it was empowering to us as a collective little group to sort of use this opportunity to kind of liberate ourselves and liberate, I guess, expand our lives a little bit and like kind of be more free, I guess, was kind of our collective why that was motivating to us to kind of keep this thing going and grow it. And it's like, wow, what if we could just kind of be completely remote and be completely online and be able to make our own schedules and spend time with our friends and family when we wanted to and kind of live life on our terms, was a big kind of core thing that resonated with the core team of the business that we kind of had going. And that was the big why for us, really, was just to sort of live a beautiful and colorful life on our own terms and not sort of be restrained by any sort of system or any sort of boss or anything like that. And so that's been a big motivator for all of the team. And it's something that we value a lot is independence and freedom and flexibility. And so, yeah, we try to really maintain that flexibility and give each other a lot of space and freedom. And that's a powerful force for our team too. And it's motivating as well. Yeah.
That's wonderful. So yes, for all entrepreneurs, that's perhaps the freedom of doing whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do, in whatever way you want to do, is what drives entrepreneurs. But then you are in the business of making sure that everybody outside US is also watching US stuff, US movies and US episodes and all of that. Why this business?
I actually, well, I mean, I sold a gift card on eBay that I just didn't want anymore, and it went to into a bidding war between these two European, France and Germany. It was like these two bidders, and it just kept going and going. And it was an opportunity that we saw, and it kind of, I guess, the opportunity kind of found us a bit. And it kind of checked all the boxes in terms of like it was trying to start off with me, but it kind of checked my boxes as well. It's a digital product, which is solely online, allows me flexibility. And it sort of kind of had a lot of the criteria that led to the life that I was at the time really like desiring, which was like freedom to travel and freedom to make my own schedule and some of those things. So it kind of found me, but it met the criteria of what I was really looking for in life at the time. And so that's kind of what led me to lean into it and really put some time in.
So I'm assuming your 100% business is online?
Yeah.
What platform do you use to sell these gift cards?
We use WooCommerce, which we needed that platform for the customization that it allows. Shopify is so nice, and I recommend it to most people if they can get away with that. But we use WooCommerce because our customer base is largely international, so we have to really cater to certain payment methods and certain things, and we found that WooCommerce was the most flexible for what we need.
How long have you been using WooCommerce?
Probably 5 years now.
Okay.
We were on BigCommerce before that, and then Xcart before that.
All right, excellent, wonderful. Thank you so much, Sam. Thank you very much. Talk more to you. Kate, what's your why? Why travel? Why women travel?
Well,
are you a feminist? Are you a feminist?
I like powerful women in charge, yes. No, I'm not. Well, I never looked at it that way, but okay. So let's think about this for a second. I thought I was going to get another question because Sam already answered his why. You're tricky. All right. So our mission statement is we exist to empower and inspire everyone to adventure their world in comfort and style. So that's the official why of Anatomie. That's why we exist. So we can make you, pack light, not worry about what you have to wear, look stylish and put together in seconds, and not worry about having to dry clean or iron any of your clothes, right? Keeping things simple and just kind of be this modern day solution to today's women on the go. So we actually have men's pants as well, and they're getting very popular and they're selling out. So we're soon launching a men's division as well for real. But how it came about is you kind of mentioned my past a little bit, coming out of Hungary, doing my MBA in France. I actually checked out of my country. I'm officially the generation that took down the Berlin Wall in 1989. So very different from, Morisha and Sam. It's the same drive, the same freedom he described, and the same survival instinct that she has, but coming from the other side of the world, right? So I was very young, noticing in the south of France, coming out of my country, I noticed this mom and daughter and grandma shopping together, and they were stylish and wealthy, and they were in Monte Carlo, and I was like, oh my God, I need to sell them something. These ladies are powerful. So I started selling clothes first to basically pay for school. And you mentioned my little gymnastics team. So we outfitted them to travel, train, and compete. But we didn't have a lot of money, so the fabrics had to last very long. And it's really interesting because I still use some of those fabrications today, like see the shirt I'm wearing. It's like a power mesh. It's indestructible. You can wash it, wear it, dry it, not worry about it. So that became a core in the DNA. So that's kind of like the why on the product. And then why on the business model, I always wanted to be an omni-channel company where customers have touch points and experiences around the world with the brand, but they can also buy it online. So we worked very hard to have wholesale and retail working together hand in hand. Similar situation to Morisha's business, with the wholesale shifting and becoming more and more direct to consumer. But luckily to us, and a decade in the making, we had our e-commerce platform before COVID hit. So we just had to have like a fast track to our projections to 2023 basically happening now. So that's all. Does that answer your question?
Interesting. Yes, it does.
I'm like
it
the cherry
does.
on the cake to what Morisha and Sam said on the why.
No, you are doing pretty well. You're doing good. So Kate, the travel industry took perhaps the worst hit.
Yep.
Companies like Boeing and Airbus have incurred huge losses. Yes, and they are saying they might never be able to come back, and it might just take them a decade or two to come back. You are also in the travel industry, like linked to travel industry. How were the last 8 months for you? How did you pivot? How is the business? What's the plan?
So and Alexa, I do have a lot of inside info to what's really going on behind the scenes, with Marriott and the cruise ships and the whole thing, because we were selling them, in all their doors. So we quickly realized, and coming from the customers, that they are living in the brand. So pretty much day 1, day 2 of the lockdowns, I was getting Instagram messages and text messages from the customer, just walking the dog, homeschooling the kids, and living in the clothes, right? So very quickly, just like Marisa said, the light bulb went off. Okay, this is a chance to become a top of the mind lifestyle company. And it just takes a change in messaging, in your branding, and how you're marketing to the customers and how you personalize the experience, because we have to talk about being comfortable and stylish, but living in a brand that allows you to have less in your wardrobe and do more with them. So we just had to recreate all of our marketing campaigns and wipe out our vision board and create a new one, basically. But you have to be fearless and gather the troops around you, and some on the team make it, some don't, and it's all part of change. And just kind of like go with the like-minded, aligned team members who are able to keep up the pace, work with you, survive, support it, use their brains also to make changes and think forward for the best of the company. But hopefully it's not going to take them a decade though to come around. I'm talking to the Ritz-Carlton yacht, and Marriott actually bought the shipyard because they had trouble building the ships, and then they ended up buying the shipyard to build the ship. So they're also fighting for their next chapters, and they should be sailing by April. So we'll see. They're saying 3-4 years for full recovery. The TSA checked in 1 million people last Sunday in US airports. So I think people are restless. Now they're coming out with the results that you actually have only a 0.000003% to get the virus on the plane with a mask. So it's not that dangerous, not more than anything else we do. So hopefully, we're just gonna move on and live with this thing until we have a vaccine.
Yes. Thank you so much, Kate. Kate, what's the percentage of your offline versus online sale?
So this year we're 70% e-commerce. And like I said, that was our forecast for 2023. So we ran about a decade on 50-50 wholesale and retail. So this year, probably 70%, next year for sure, 80% will be direct to consumer. So we actually have direct online, which is Anatomie.com, and then we have direct offline as well. So we created the direct offline division with 50 VIP stylists around the country, who are basically following a direct selling model that I had when I started the company a decade ago. So we went full circle, and soon to have a team of 100 ladies around the country. They're personal shoppers, and they use their personal boats to sell. And then we also have a pop-up store strategy that gives me a direct offline channel where people get in the product, they find the perfect fitting pants and jacket, but they can get more online.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Which platform are you using, Kate?
We are on Shopify Plus as of now.
I was on a website. Are you also launching in India? Have you also launched in India already?
So in the last 6 months, we launched a loyalty program globally, a full-blown lifetime warranty on the product. So you can see, I'm sitting on a ball. I can't sit still. I got to do something new and big every day.
Yes. Excellent. Wonderful. Thank you
yes,
so
we're
much.
shipping worldwide. Singapore, India, we're shipping the Middle East, Russia, South Africa, UK, Germany, Canada. Yep.
Excellent. Wonderful. You're manufacturing only in the US, or do you have contractors all over?
We are in 6 factories around the world, mostly Europe. Like I described, my DNA and the core of the brand, how we started, French and Italian high performance fabrics. We have factories in Italy, Romania, a little bit of Hungary, and then tiny bit in China and Vietnam right now. And then we have a partner for leather in Pakistan.
Excellent. Wonderful. Great. Thank you so much, Kate. Marisa, coming back to you, since you are a sales and marketing person, if let's say somebody wants to, Sam or Kate or me or anybody else in the e-commerce industry, and they want to start a business right now, or if suppose they have been suffering, what should be their marketing strategy? How do you turn tables around?
I feel like you definitely, first and foremost, you have to take a customer first approach. I think a lot of times we try to come into things like, okay, what's best for the business? And this is the business model, and this is the business name, and I'm gonna go get, my LLC, and I'm gonna go throw up a website. But before you do all of that, you really have to think about, who are you selling to? What do they want? Where do they shop? What experience are they looking for? And I have to agree with what Sam said, because we have 3 e-commerce stores. One is on Shopify, two is on WooCommerce, and have been on WooCommerce for the last 8 years. And you're always going to have consultants. I've been here with Lasio for 10 years, and we've been through a lot of consultants and a lot of people you bring on board. And the one thing I want to tell people starting out is no one has the right answer. You don't know the right answer until you do it for yourself, okay? Because everyone has their opinion. Kate may be like, I love Shopify. Shopify is great. Sam is going to be like, I love WooCommerce. WooCommerce is great. At the end of the day, you have to figure out what's right for your business, what's going to work for you. And sometimes it is trial and error. And it's like, again, WooCommerce works for 2 of our businesses. I wouldn't go to Shopify. And we had people who were like, oh, if you're going to run direct to consumer, you need to be on the Shopify platform. You need to do this, and then at the end of the day but WooCommerce offers us functionality as a global brand to be able to customize and keep our budget low, right? So always look at, first things first is, who are you selling to? What problem are you solving? And what is going to be the best way for you to communicate that solution with your customers? And in this day and age, let me tell you, it may not even be a website. You can sell on Instagram. You can sell on Facebook. Find where your customers are, find where they like to shop, and focus on building a community, because people buy people. They don't buy product. And it's going to be but for so long that you're going to hang on to them if you're just pushing product. My other tip would be, don't forget the human element of your business. Don't let it be all about a product. Don't let it be all about automation and this pop-up and this robot and this over here. And it can be a lot, right? And it's so cool. Trust me. I'm like, yeah, automation. Like I said, I've been in digital marketing for many years when it first hit and people were doing affiliates and trying to figure out how to put a website up, and websites cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to build. And now with how quick and easy everything is, it's so quick to put a robot on my Facebook chat, a chat bot, and he's gonna chat with everyone for me. And then it's so quick to set up email funnels, and we get so lost in this. And at the end of the day, what really keeps you in business, as Kate said, she had customers hitting her up on Instagram. That's that human connection. Don't ever lose that. Even during COVID, I had one rep who stayed on with me the entire months of COVID, working from home, because we refused to get rid of that human connection in our business. It's worth something for someone to know that there's a human person on the other side of that Instagram page, on the other side of that chat box. We run chats on our web all day long, but there's a human that will come into play there, right? There's a human element to our emails as well. We pay a team of 3 people to sit here and personalize and customize emails all day, and you see the difference. You get people picking up the phone and calling you. And I feel like when businesses start to look at, well, how much can I automate? And trust me, I got lost in that too. Like, I want to automate everything. Let's automate it. And then you kind of reel yourself back in and be like, the technology is great, but the technology should be used in line with everything else I have going on. It should be the icing on the cake and the cherry on the cake, stealing Kate's words, but it shouldn't be the whole cake. It's not the foundation of it. The human element is still there. So never forget that in your business, regardless your model, whether you're brick and mortar, whether you're direct, e-commerce, just figure out where your customers are. Remember that you're selling to humans, and remember humans like to buy from humans. We love that human connection, even more so in the times of the shutdown. People were craving to speak to someone, right? And businesses who took advantage of that and who were genuinely there, not in a sneaky, salesy kind of way, but who were genuinely there to have conversation, to care, to ask about your well-being. those businesses came out of COVID and are going into this next year stronger than ever, because you're bringing this loyal database and customer base with you of real people. And that was one of the key things at the top of my mind during the shutdown. I told the whole team who stayed on with us, I was like, this is the time we make connection. Everyone is home. People are looking for connection. If we don't make the connection now, forget about it. We can't save this after the fact. And that was our focus. No money coming in from the B2B side. But what we focused on was that human connection, because we knew the economy was going to recover. Whether it took 6 months, a year, we're going to recover. This is America, right? This is the beauty of America. Any economy, we're going to recover. And so it's always focusing on people first. People first. What solution are you going to deliver? And where is your tribe? Where is your community? And where are you going to find them? And how do you make it easy for them to interact with you?
Wonderful. Excellent. Morisha, that's fabulous piece of advice. I think we all can use it. A lot came out from you and came out very honestly, very purely from your heart. What Morisha is saying, that you have to keep your customers first, be obsessive about adding value to them. Understand what problems you're solving for your customers and narrate them well. Identify your niche so that you can convey your niche to them. And also, you must definitely automate a lot of things, but do not forget the touch, the human touch. People like to talk to people. People buy from people. Humans buy from humans. So those are the learnings from Morisha. Thank you very much. Great tips. We all can use it. Thank you very much, Morisha. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sam, coming to you. So we have this Enalito is a software company, and we have a Shopify app, a WooCommerce app, and we basically help businesses, e-commerce businesses, in email marketing, personalization, and all of other stuff we will talk about later. We have a business coach in India. We got a business coach in the US, and our business coaches are saying, Amit, how can Enalito work without you? So as an entrepreneur, do you think that how can Sam's business work without Sam? Should Sam make money without getting up from bed? Should that be a business aim? Should entrepreneurs be looking at automating or putting things in autopilot so much that businesses work without them so that they move on to the next business? Is putting a business in autopilot one of your aims?
To some degree, yeah. There's like really, really good benefit to setting up systems and setting up processes like that. When I was about 3 years into my business, I was taking a 1 month trip completely remote, and I didn't have internet access. And it was the scariest thing in preparation to that. And it seemed impossible. I really wanted to do this trip, and there was no way to do it with connection. It was a backpacking trip. And the stress and all everything that was required to get the business to run without me for that month ended up being so fruitful for the coming next year or two, because we had set up so many systems and so many processes within the organization that things got to run so smoothly from there out. And so, yeah, it was really, really great to sort of have that goal. But it was more so, it wasn't so much the end goal of just having this automated thing that I walk away from, but there's still benefit to having that, but I guess it would depend on each individual. But just to speak to the automation and the systems, it's extremely important, I think, to focus on that. And it does allow you to then go on and focus on other things in the business that, you can focus on other opportunities. So it kind of paves the road for you to kind of focus on perhaps next level things. So that would be my advice for that.
Okay.
And my
Wonderful.
experience.
Excellent. Wonderful. Great. Kate, coming to you. Where do you spend your marketing dollars?
Wow, that's the big $10 million question, huh? So we have a budget allocated through different channels. There's giant worksheets floating around, among management for all that, between paid social, affiliates, um, all kinds of other channels through our pop-ups. Remember, we are omni-channel, so some of it has to stay with the wholesale and supporting the team. Some of it goes straight to retail, some of it goes to the pop-ups, whether it's location, geo-targeting, activations, some budget goes to that. I can pull up the whole thing. I don't want to screen share and bore everybody with numbers, but it's a wide web, which is challenging because we have an e-commerce manager in-house and she does all of our backend. But then just like Marisa said, you start getting consultants and outside people and CMOs and all that, and everybody has an opinion, right? But at the end of the day, the data is powerful. So you have to be very focused on analyzing numbers. And this is where, being a math major comes in handy, right? Less of the designer head, but more of the mathematical side, because that tells you the truth, right? I can like the black jacket, but if we sold zero and nobody liked the share, they're gonna have to forget about the black jacket, right? And go with the camel pants that I thought was silly, but all of a sudden we sold 800 units in 3 weeks, so go figure. So you have to be very wise on analyzing the data and making these marketing budget decisions or shifting things literally by the day. So we used to have, 5-year plan, a 3-year plan, a 1-year plan, and it went on to 6-month plan, and monthly plan, and weekly plan. Now we're looking at this data every day with the agencies and the team. So that's how we spend our marketing budget. It's allocated literally by the day on different channels. Something important is when you're direct to consumer, you have first party data. You're the source of the truth, and you have to go to that. So before you go outside and look at other databases and wanting to buy a customer database or work with third-party customers, if you don't know your own truth, there's nothing you can do with the outside advisor information. So we allocate budget to that to make sure the analytics coming to us are true. And that was challenging because you use Shopify data, you use Google Analytics, you use the agencies telling you, what I even realized, sometimes they were double counting crowd. Right? Isn't Facebook changing now how 28-day data goes down to 14-day data, but the agencies are reveling because they're going to put them out of business because they're making the data look better than what it really is, right? Is my customer acquisition really $200, $700, $30? That's like crazy. So that budget has to be part of that too, and guiding the truth.
Yes, absolutely. What's your ROAS, Kate?
It depends on the channels. 9 to 11 times in Google. There's sometimes 4 or 5 times in PPC. Depends. We measure return on investment by channel, by divisions.
Excellent. That's a great ROAS, I think, because I have been talking to a lot of people in the last 3-4 months, and generally, if people are spending $100 on ads, they're able to get 3x or 4x max. Generally 3x. Marisa is nodding her head. Perhaps she is agreeing to my numbers, and she's surprised to hear Kate that she's getting 11x ROAS, return on ad spend.
Sometimes and do that.
11x is amazing.
Yes, it happens. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you gotta watch it because things hit and you gotta go with it. And the funny thing, not funny, but the challenging and the opportunity here is sometimes it stops working, right? It works for a week or 2 weeks, and then it stops having that return on investment, and you gotta like go to get something out. And it did drop to 3-4 times, like March, April, May, right when the travel search were decreasing. But now it's coming back up. So yeah, it's a dance, it's a wild dance. It's not the new norm. It's like the new strange, challenging reality.
All right, you got a nice dog behind you.
That's Luna. That's, came out of the lockdown. We saved the soul.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
64% more happiness at the workforce when there's a pet in the house. So we have a big warehouse. She's happy here.
Wow. You are purely a number woman. Excellent. Morisha, what's your ROAS and what do you do to increase it?
It's where you were saying, and we're more at the 3-4x point. But to speak exactly with what Kate was saying, you have to look at that data very closely. because I recently had a meeting with one of our agencies last week, Thursday, where it was like, this number doesn't make sense to me on what it's saying and what I'm actually seeing. So then you start to realize that you do have to look more closely at those numbers. Facebook and Google and Instagram can tell you one thing, but what is your sales platform actually telling you? And seeing also the delay in the patterns is something to take note of. For instance, like last week, our products are at a higher price point. So Facebook advertising is a little bit different for us, and it's a little bit more costly in terms of when you're looking at us selling a service or to our B2B side, it's still a few $100s for one sale. So we spend a lot more to get that one sale. And then in the end, did it actually pay off? To increase it's exactly what Kate said. You have to look at it on a daily basis. You have to see what's hitting, what's not hitting. And if you really want to maximize your dollars, you do have to look at, okay, do I want to spend one more day of funds on this ad, or do I want to shift it to something that's actually working? And in your budget, you should account to have someone actually looking at that. So it's agency, it's you, and then who's in the middle actually saying this was right and this was wrong, and interpreting what the agency is actually saying, what Facebook is saying, and really looking into those numbers and asking the tough questions. So we do see more of a 3x, 4x. Sometimes, again, with our price point, it could be even like as low as a 1x or a 2x. But for us, our customers buy on a pattern. So one customer for us is going to purchase 3 to 4 times a year on a particular pattern. So you also have to look at those numbers. So I spent a little bit more to acquire the customer. I may make a little bit less on that first purchase, but we look at the lifetime value of that customer. So once we get it in, the responsibility then shifts from online marketing again to that in-house team. And what are you doing to retain that customer? And how many of those customers are we actually retaining? Which is what helps us to establish our budget quarter over quarter. Is I'm not going to keep spending if we're not retaining. And so then what has to shift in our in-house strategy to ensure that those customers are coming back?
Yes, absolutely. Makes sense. So, Kate, you are spending a lot of money on marketing, and also ROAS varies a lot. Now, so there are a lot of repeat customers. You also have to segment your customer properly. I think I'll go back to Kate on that because Kate has something to say on segmentation and how to improve the ROAS.
I think you have to personalize the marketing effort and the budget, whether it's a new customer or returning customer in the first place. Because people coming to you for the first time need to hear the story and the emotional connection, the story of the founders, why the product works, how does it gonna work for them, for their lives, right? And then the returning ones might be, well aware of everything. I have ladies and probably like Marissa and Tamara who may be buying the product for close to a decade, so they probably have everything. They just want to see something new. So that's a good way to increase your return on investment, is really finding out what to message the new ones and what to message the returning ones. Even with the returning one, what to message the ones who bought your product one time, and also how long ago, versus people bought it 2 to 5 times and then maybe 10 plus, right? And then this is where my little VIP customer base also comes in. They might want to do different things. They might not even shop online. To Marissa's point, they might want to be on the phone for 2 hours and teach it about their life and what's happening these days. And that's how they're going to make their purchase. So also some of them can cost more than others. to her point about the lifetime value. If you know what that lifetime value is, it could be different for a customer who comes for sale items or a customer who wants to make a whole, wardrobe full of anatomy for whatever reason, right? So there's the more you know, the deeper you go, the more details you have, the better your return on investment will be. That's just
Absolutely, absolutely.
And the more personal you make it for each one of those people.
100%, 100%. Kate, what tools do you use to get this data?
So we have a system called Glue that gives us the analytics.
Oh,
there's also PenPad.
Can you spell it?
I'm going to put it on your screen in the chat.
Glue, okay, all right.
Yeah, that's what we use. There's PenPad, which we almost picked. So some kind of a data analytics that gives you this, but then you also need human brains to look at it. And then sometimes, as a founder or owner or CEO, you have a gut feeling about the truth, right? And sometimes things get fishy. So you have to be able to not lose that instinct and the time and the energy it takes to look through those things, kind of point out. It's funny how they give me, like a worksheet with 20 Excel sheets, and I go through and then I'm highlighting one thing in the middle, and I get on the Zoom and see, guys, J17 seems fishy. And then they'll go back and say, oh yeah, we kind of missed out on the March, the exchanges were counted as new orders. I'm like, those are the new orders and exchanges. So there's that, yeah. So a couple of analytics systems, agencies, and then people around it. It takes a village. And I've learned so much because this is not my background. So I'm probably admitting it's a work in progress with me as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. Excellent, Kate. Thank you so much. Sam, coming back to you, you have clients all over. You are making them watch the US industry, US movies and US episodes. There are customers, there are clients, there are fans. How do you convert so customers come and go, clients stay with you a little longer, and fans love you. How do you convert your customers into your fans?
Yeah, we've definitely put a lot of emphasis on customer support. Like Morisha was saying, just really like providing a really good experience and that sort of human connection. It was funny when I first brought in one of our team members, John, about 3 years ago. He came in as customer support, and he was doing such a good job. We were looking at our online reviews, and about 60% of our reviews didn't even mention the product. They mentioned John. And they just talked about their experience with John and how great it was and how great he was. And they didn't even mention the product half the time. And it really was a clear picture to us that people really cared about that, like customer service experience and how they're treated and just that extra attention that people were getting with them. And so that's really been a big part of our emphasis, is how do we really make that customer experience really great, or customer service experience, and just really putting a lot of focus on providing good support there and good communication with the customer and being available to them. Right now, we're about 22 hours of 24 on customer support. So if somebody needs us live chat, they can always get somebody. And that's just been a huge focus point for us.
Fabulous, wonderful. So Sam, people like you, Kate, Morisha, other people who are entrepreneurs and hiring people. So when you hired John, what values do you look for in people when you hire them? What values do you look for? I'm not asking about capabilities. So capabilities is, what capabilities are different, values are different. So what values do you look for?
Sorry, say that last part. What was the differentiator? Values and what?
Capabilities.
Capabilities, yeah. I mean, I think the big thing that since independence and flexibility and some of these things are so important to our company structure, I really look for people that like to figure things out on their own and are challenged and kind of self-motivated. Generally speaking, when people come in with us, like I give them a really long leash and they can really do what they want. And I just kind of see how they are in that environment. And if they're able to kind of figure things out and kind of self-navigate, it's a really good indicator that they're going to work well in our environment. And so that's one of the big things that I look for early on, and something that's really critical in our organization and that everyone does pretty well. And yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. What Sam is saying that you got to be motivated, self-motivated. You got to be a solution finder. So there are three kinds of people, which I also learned. So there are people who come to you with a problem. They would identify a problem and they'll come to you. Hey Sam, this is the problem. A second kind of people is they will identify a problem and they'll also come with a solution. The third kind of person would be, this is the problem. This was the solution. I implemented it and I'm good.
Yeah,
So,
those are the people we like.
yes, those are people we want to have, we want to work with. And you know what? So when we also hire, and this guy, Henry Ford also said, the smartest people in the room hire people who are smarter than them. So if you're hiring people who are smarter than you, first of all, it needs a lot of courage to hire a person who's smarter than you. And it needs a lot of courage to accept that somebody is smarter than you and you're hiring them.
You're
So
gonna pay them even more than you pay yourself.
Yeah.
That's when it gets really tough.
And
Which
pray
I
they
had
don't
to do
leave.
a lot.
absolutely, absolutely, right. Great. So in this last round, guys, if you have any questions which you want to shoot to a fellow speaker, you can shoot now.
Well, I liked what Morisha said earlier about just really like not focusing so much on scalability, but on that individual relationship, like the not so much on the product, but more on the connection. I would love to hear just more on like how you feel about that and where your focus is on that. That's a big shift for us over the next 5 years, and where I really want to put emphasis on is less from the product and the conversion rate, but more on the how people feel and kind of creating more of a culture around the company. So I love that that's a focus of yours, and I could just listen to you go on that for a long time. So if there's anything else that you have on that, I would definitely appreciate it.
So for us and for me, because I think when you have that thought frame of culture over product, it's a scary thing, right? And we manufacture our products here, and even trying to break that down to the team where you're so numbers focused. It's like, we got to hit this number, we got to hit this number, we got to hit that number. And it's like, oh, we didn't really sell and this ad didn't really convert. And it can become very overwhelming and cause a lot of anxiety there. But I find in shifting, for me, my numbers, which you can't see my borders over here, but my numbers are based on people, not on product sales. So when I deliver my numbers, which is so different from the CEO, my partner in this, she's numbers. She's like, this is the number. And the moment she gives me a number, I convert the number into people. So I'm like, for that number, that's for simple numbers terms, that's 100 people. And that's 100 people buying on this pattern. And so our key thing is step one, get the 100 people. And step two, get them buying on that pattern. And the only way to get them on that pattern is to deliver that relationship, especially in my field where it's hair products. I can't come up with a new hair product every week. I can't flex like that. I can't make it trendy all the time. So my focus has to be on that relationship. And if you're a customer who's buying product X and Y, how do I then build you into making this a lifestyle? How do I build regimens with you? But in order for me to build regimens, I have to learn you. I have to learn who you are. And in building that trust with you, then it becomes, wow, I'm going to listen to her. I'm going to listen to her because the last thing she told me to do worked. Or even with the gift cards, it's like, Dad, the last gift card that John recommended, and I get it all the time here, there's new business that comes through the door simply because of the rep who was talking to that person. That they'll go to a friend and they'll be like, when you call, ask for this person. You got to talk to this person because she's so great. And they start relating those people to the business. It's not call Lasio. They say, call Camille, call Annette. That's your girl. That's who you got to go to. And it's astonishing to me because I do a lot of our videos. I'm in the forefront of our education strategy because I believe in human connection. It's what allowed me to survive for 10 years here at the company. It's meeting all of the different people and learning from them. And there are times that I answer the phone and people are like, I know your voice. You're the girl from the video. You're that girl, aren't you? And I'm like, yes. And then they want to talk forever. But that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it, is that it's no other feeling. And it makes that one sale all the more better, right? And it's what drives the team, because they'll talk to that person that'll give them the encouragement to pick up the phone and call another customer, because they're like, that was just so great. And it's the same thing with whether it's the clothes or the phone or the gift cards. Sorry, I said phone cards. I started in phone cards. One of my first jobs was selling phone cards. The gift cards, it's that experience, right? It's like, I bought this, but this card unlocked this experience. And that experience is what they're going to post about. And that experience is what's going to make them the best brand ambassadors for your company. Because I'm going to see that experience and I'm going to be like, Dad, I want that experience. I want that. And I'm going to go dig in. If there's someone like me, I'm going to dig in and be like, well, where did you get that from? And I'm going to go on that nosedive through your site and look for my own experiences. And it's the same thing with Anatomie. It's like, wow, that girl is traveling. She's experiencing things, right? And it makes that connection when you're really able to build, yes, that authenticity and those real stories. It's the real stories from, as Kate said, from that new buyer who's looking for stories of the people behind the brand, to even the existing buyers who still want the story. They want to see growth. They want to hear that you're growing. So we have customers who've been with us for 10 years. And there are times I take time out. With COVID, it kind of shut that down for me. But I take time out and I go visit them. I go see them. I go talk to them. I make it my business to interact with them. I still make it my business up to this day to get on a phone call and talk to a customer or send them an email, and their mind is blown. Like, wait, you're what? And you're here? Like, why are you here with us? Why did you come here? Don't you have other things to do? Why are you talking to me? And it's that connection that keeps them coming back, because they're like, the experience was like no other professional hair care company that I've spoken to. And that's what we thrive to do. And for me, every sale number, it's a person. It's the person. And when we start breaking them down in terms of people, and the CEO and I have that conversation, and I'm like, okay, that number is 150 people buying every 3 months. And she's like, what? That's so doable. Oh my goodness, that's so doable. And it gets the whole team excited, because yeah, you're looking at a figure. A number doesn't mean anything until you connect. That you make that human connection to it, and then you see just how doable it actually is.
Cool.
Fabulous, wonderful.
I think there's a tendency when you're wanting to grow and wanting to get to the next level to think about automation and think about scalability. And you think about these grand numbers. How do I get from 300,000 to 600,000? And you start thinking, well, that needs to be with some crazy automation and 100 robots need to be on it. And it's always been when I go to the human experience and that one-to-one and the more personalization and the more hand-holding, it's those type of efforts that generally lead to the crazy growth, which is so counterintuitive, but it's just how it always works. And it's always a humbling reminder
Especially
to
now.
They
Especially
multiply
now.
yeah, they
Right?
multiply.
Yeah, look, Sam, I have a whole triangle of just about that. See? And how we move them up to the top of the pyramid. And the only thing missing in the middle is that personal touch. If they get left behind, they're going to be on the bottom. They move up when something magical happens, and all of a sudden the emotions kick in. And she's so right. Some customer service people or SaaS people on the phone can do that. And then the phone will ring and they will look for that Raquel, and they look for that Lisa, they will look for that Alex. And that's what I love, when the phone rings and I happen to pick up, say, no, okay, thank you. I just want to talk to Raquel. I'm like, I know everything. I can do anything for you, but they still want to talk to Raquel. That's like the best day ever.
Wonderful, excellent. I'm so glad you all know that. You all confirm that. Of course, you know that. I also do online course of Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi. They vouch for what you just said. Linking to humans and narrating your story honestly. The more authentic you are, the better you will sell. Automatically, it's going to happen automatically. You just have to be authentic and real and honest, and things will happen automatically. And of course, you got to be obsessive about adding value to your customer, and things will happen automatically. Numbers will grow automatically. Just be obsessive about adding value to what you do. How can you do better? How can you be a better version of yourself? So adding value to yourself. They also say that there are a lot of problems around us, and we always try to attack the problem. So these problems, and that's perhaps not the right way. We should attack the cause of the problem, and generally the cause of the problem is us. If we become better every goddamn day, everything around us becomes easier. If we are mentally better, physically better, financially better, spiritually better, everything, all the problems become easier. It starts with us. So they say you should spend more time on yourself than you spend on your business, and your business becomes easy. Your life becomes easy. People start loving you. Money flows to you. Love flows to you. Charm flows to you. Fame flows to you. So be the person. Everything flows to you rather than you running after everything, because you can't run after everything. But you can be that garden where all the butterfly comes, all the birds come. So you be that person, and your business grows automatically. That's what we are also trying to do at Enalito. Guys, thank you. Thank you so much. Had fantastic conversations. You guys are such givers. You guys did not shy away from sharing your secret sauce. Thanks to all three of you for such a fabulous, wonderful discussion. We're going to be sending out the video to you very soon, most likely tomorrow. And we're also going to be cutting the small 5-minute video snippets out of these and sending you out on different channels, tagging you up. So kindly accept my LinkedIn request so that we can tag you and we can comment on your videos.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you,
Good luck
guys.
with the conference.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Morisha and Sam. You guys are awesome.
Same to you. This was so great. I feel like fed to go do
Right?
have a productive day. So thank you guys and
Thank you so much
for feeding into my soul today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself. Have a fantastic week ahead.
You too.
See you guys. Bye. God bless.